Okay, hello everybody. In this screencast, we're going to look at how to write data to Firebase. So let me just remind you of the structure of the data that we have. We have some collections, say contact collection, and then under it we have each documents. Each document is a contact, okay, and these IDs were generated automatically. And I want to add another contact. It's very simple. So when you look at it, all you have to do is create a dictionary, key value pair, with the key is the field name, and then the value is the value that you want to put. And then you just use the data instance and then use it to set the data and so on. So we'll do that. So let's say we create a function. And let's close this one. Okay, that's the function. And we'll say, for example, set data, for example. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing that we did here. I'm going to get the Firebase instance, right? Here it is. Here it is, the Firestore, the Firebase Firestore DB. And then you say db dot collection. And I'm interested in the collection called contacts, right? And I'm going to do what? I want to what? Set something, right? So we'll come back to this in a little bit, right? Now, the object that you want to store, you have to create. It's a map, or you could say hash map of keys are strings and then values are object. Okay, and this is the user equal a new hash map, right? So here it is. This is your map. And then basically I'll just add user dot put the name as say test user, and then maybe the phone. I'm going to put also the cell as, let's say, all fours. All right, so that's the user. Now we are here. Now all you have to do is, this is the collection, right? Here it is. And then based on the documentation, you say add. You want to add that user, so you say dot add, and you give it the object that you want to add, user, right? And then you set add an on success listener or an on complete listener, on success listener, new on success listener. All right, here it is. So if you call this function, what's going to do? It's going to add a user. The interesting thing is that what's going to be its ID? It's going to be automatically generated. You did not specify it, the ID, and you didn't tell it what ID is it going to carry, and it's going to be automatically generated. So let's call this function. Let's call it here. Set data. Right. I'll run the app. So I will run it. It did run, and you could see that there is one entry got added. And if you click here, here is the user that got added, and automatic ID. Perfect. Perfect. So that's one way of adding things, right? Can I add another user? Yes. Whenever you run it, it's going to add another user. Here it is. Boom. Here is another user that got added, and here it is, right? So now, can I add other fields? Yeah, you can add other fields. Documents can have different fields. So for example, I can have phone. This is the phone number. Here it is. Run it. Now it's going to add another user. Here's the other user that got added, and it has 3 fields. That's fine. That's okay. They don't all have to have exactly the same field, right? Okay. So that's this. That's one thing. Now, what if I want to change the phone number? What if I want to update the phone number? Okay. So now, before we go there, let's show you how to set up this ID to match a specific ID that you want. So I don't want this ID to be generated automatically. I want my own ID. Okay. So to get your own ID, you do db.collection. You still have to get the collection, right? Which is contacts. Okay, so that's one. And then you have to specify the document. What's the document? And you specify the ID of the document. Let's say, for example, the ID, I'll just add some ID, random ID. So that's the ID that I wanted to create, right? And then I could say set, okay? Instead of add, there is no add. So you just set, and you pass it the object. This is the user. And basically, dot add on success listener, new on success listener. So now what's going to happen now, let me comment out this part because I'm not going to add, right? So I want to add a new user. So this adds a new contact. Add this document ID, and that's the data that's going to be in the user. So let's run it. And you could see here the 45. This is the ID that I specified here. This is the document ID. And then these are the fields that are there. Now, what if I want to update that specific document, right? To change the cell phone number, only the cell phone number, to be a specific value. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just I showed you how to add, right? How to add. So these are how to add a new one, and it's automatic ID. This one is how to add one with a specified ID that you would like to use, right? Now, how to update is also pretty straightforward. Okay, so now to update, let's say all you have to do is create an object that only has the fields that you would like to update. Let's say we want to change the user to be, instead of test user, I want it to be testing user, and then the cell phone, I want it to be 111, 111, 11111, and I don't want to touch the phone, right? So I don't want to change the phone. So this is the fields that only you would like to change, right, or update. So db.collection, the same situation, contacts, right? And then the document is, it has to have the same ID because I want to update a specific one. Here's the document, right? And then I want to, instead of set, I want to update. See here, you just specify the update and you say user. And the same story, set on, set or add on success listener, new on success listener, and here we go. So basically what's going to happen now is these are the contacts, this is specific ID, you create a user object that only has the fields that you would like to update, right? So when I run it, okay, you see only these two fields got changed. See, only this one got changed and this one got changed, which is because I only specified them, right? They're the only ones that turned yellow, right? Now, if I only want to change the phone, I just specify the phone. Let's say the phone, I want the phone, and I'm going to, I will just type here the new phone, okay. All right, so when I run this, you'll see that this phone is going to change to a new phone. See, only this one. So that's how you update. Straightforward, very easy to use. The only thing you have to pay attention to is that these are all asynchronous calls. Okay, so you have to be careful. After this line, this does not mean this is done executing. It's only done executing when it executes the on success or on failure, right? Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.